South African Municipal Workers Union has raised concerns about the ongoing salary crisis affecting municipal workers across the country. The union is criticizing National Treasury for not providing sustainable funding for municipalities, especially those serving disadvantaged communities. The union pointed out that municipal workers in areas like Umzinyathi, Thembelihle and Mamusa, among others, will not be paid on time. Provincial Secretary of Samwu in the Free State Thabang Tseuoa joins me live now. Thabang, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. I mean, this problem has been with us for years now, and some of the causes are, well, ventilated, things like municipalities that simply do not have budgets that can carry the amounts of workers that they have and the like. But take us through what has happened with these municipalities. Is this something that just happened, and are there other reasons that are responsible for what we're seeing now in these municipalities like Umzinyathi, Thembelihle and Mamusa?
No, thanks for hosting me, Voyo, and to your viewers at home. Look, Voyo, like you correctly point out, these are not new issues, and they come a long way. There's history behind this. There are various issues which we can highlight. First, we are saying the manner in which the equitable share is structured. In fact, it does not assist municipalities. So it's a structural challenge. That's the first one. But you also have other issues such as your lack of management or financial planning that also affect these municipalities. Issues like corruption that happens in municipalities are some of the reasons why you have such challenges within local government.
And those are the ones I wanted to, and without relegating or dismissing even the bigger budgetary issues, aren't there issues there of how these municipalities are managing, let's say, the little that they have?
Well, like we said, some do not even have the financial base. There are poor municipalities which are unable to gather funds from the communities. They can't collect, and there's no assistance that comes from your government. Departments like your Treasury are not assisting, Proctor is not assisting, and it affects our members. And within the same breath, we have Department of Labor, which also does not assist in the department. But there are serious challenges in terms of revenue collection in some of the municipalities. That's why we are also blaming how the revenue distribution is currently characterized. And we're saying we need reform. You can't be having municipalities that are poor, but you give them a little, and you're expecting them to push your constitutional duties within the same breath with a little that they are having, while they are unable to even make money from their own communities. For example, they would provide services, water, they would provide electricity, but within communities that are unable to afford. So those are some of the challenges that affect these municipalities. But indeed, we're not saying these are sole reasons. They have a responsibility to manage them. Hence, we are saying issues of management that is set as challenge. Issues of financial planning is also a challenge. And we're not exonerating your COCTAs, we are not exonerating your treasury from this responsibility as well. They have a duty to ensure that municipalities perform as they are supposed to do.
Well, really, I mean, which was my starting point, and it was not the final point, was whether we can say, or people can say, look, we know the problems of the underfunding, misallocation of resources. I mean, people have been complaining endlessly about Treasury and so on and so forth. But what I was trying to establish first was whether we can say, or anyone can say, without any fear of contradicting themselves, that these people are handling the public monies that they are given responsibly. And under the circumstances, they are doing the best that they can.
Well, in some circumstances, they are doing the best they can with the little that they are having. But in some cases, we are saying there are other elements which contribute to. So it depends on each case per its method.
And have there been enough voices and with a great deal of consistency saying that this situation cannot continue? Can we sit around the table and say, what can we all do from our respective little corners to actually address the situation? Or put differently, have you as unions been able to say, for example, we are prepared to, whether it's downing tools, but to use the force and the power that you have to say it's not only about our salaries, but it's about how the residents, you know, who depend on these municipalities for services have to live. It's about their future or their fate. And we are prepared to do whatever it takes to correct this situation, not only when it affects us in our pockets.
No, you're correct. And some we have been making noise and we have been taking actions to ensure that at least the communities that we live amongst are not suffering. But Voya, you cannot exclude the fact that not paying workers has an impact in terms of their own morale.
Completely agree.
Giving the same services, in terms of giving the same services that the communities would need. You're talking about people who would go for almost, in some municipalities, for 3 months without a salary. And they're expected to give this particular service to the community. Now, these are the type of people that we're talking about. We're talking about people without medical aid, but their monies are deducted on a daily or monthly basis. You're talking about people who cannot bury their loved ones. And it is a challenge. But there's some who have been making noise, and some who have taken these matters to court, and in some instances, in trying to force the provincial government to ensure that they take responsibility and play the necessary oversight they need to do within the municipality. Our view is that governments are not playing necessary role to ensure that what is needed in local government is achieved. They're not playing a necessary oversight to ensure that the budgets that are passed are indeed funded, and where they are not funded, what interventions that they put on place. So in here, we are saying there are many things that we can blame, but we are also blaming government for lack of action as well.
I'm asking this because only today, this morning, there was a conversation in Parliament about the budget, where you have the Treasury saying, oh, well, if the government wants to spend, that money has to come from somewhere, and the way we looked at it, it can only come from VAT, full stop. All right. Yet, if you look at the past couple of months with the first non-tabling of the budget, then later it was tabled. Now the issue is it going to be voted in by the members of the national legislature? Everyone seems to be taking their own individual position, and there is very little evidence, except perhaps for the pronouncements coming from the ANC in particular. There is very little evidence so far of people, everyone really trying to say, what's the best that we can do, you know, to pull this off or to get out of the quagmire that we are in. And I'm suggesting that this is a problem that's not only affecting the current budgetary process. It is not the problem affecting only the municipal workers who are now not being paid. But I think there's a point at which we've gone to care about what each and every one of us is doing in their small little corners, often to the disadvantage of the bigger picture or those people who may not have a voice around the table.
The unfortunate part that you are having a national treasury fully, it plays a across even at the level of national, it's a big brother, but it's not on the ground. That's the unfortunate part. They don't seem to understand what is happening on the ground. Yes, the approach you're talking about is an approach that might work, so that we sit around the table, we discuss issues and come up with possible solutions to particular issues. But if you come as a department that thinks that you are bigger than everyone else, your word is a go, then you have a challenge for you. You will never have solutions to this particular challenge.
Which is one of the big reasons.
Unfortunately, come again?
Now saying which is one of the reasons we have a forum like NEDLEC, but that's another story and debate for another day. Thabang, let me thank you very much for your time. He's Samwu's Free State Secretary, following, of course, that problem of many municipalities in that province not being able to pay their workers, of course, me taking liberties to venture into other areas of this conversation.